Hey everyone, I'm Grant and welcome back to the channel. It's here, I got my adapter. So what we are going to do tonight, this is going to be kind of a quick video, hopefully, is install the adapter on the Ford 6R80 transmission, install my NP231 to the adapter. It is not completely rebuilt yet, but it's built enough that I should be able to measure for drive shafts, which are going to take a little while to get made. So while those are being made, I can button up everything else. So with that said, I'm going to get to work. All right. I don't know how well you can see this, but there is a lipped edge on this Ford transmission. And the adapter has a lip on it too. And the problem I'm having is getting that lip to go in. I'm going to take this adapter apart. I'll be right back. All right, trying this again. I now just have the front half of the adapter, which is kind of nice because it's easier to manhandle. Now, I can tell it's supposed to go in about there. Alright everyone, it's been a couple of days since I first tried doing the test fit of the adapter, and I've run into a couple of issues that some have been resolved and some we are going to resolve today with the use of a carbide bit. So let me explain what's going on, and we're going to start with the transmission side first. So the transmission that KubotaSwapper has that he used as reference is a 2011 model transmission. The transmission that I installed is a 2014 model. And the reason why that is important is they did an update to the rear casting around the output shaft on the transmission. So basically, and I have a picture so I'm going to put it on the screen now, there is a section of the housing on the transmission that is interfering with his adapter. And that's the reason why I cannot get the transmission side of the adapter to sit flush. It's basically hitting right here where there's now a mark, and that's preventing it from this ring seating in that indent on the back of the transmission, essentially. So we are going to be using one of these bits, and we're basically just going to grind away the aluminum metal until we have clearance. And I've talked to KubotaSwappers on how to do this. I have a way of doing it, and we're going to be doing it on my workbench here in a few minutes. I'm now going to talk about the transfer case side of the adapter, and this is where I messed up, and I didn't film any of this because after running into problems with that, I went to check the transfer case side, and this one was on me, not KubotaSwappers. So KubotaSwappers needed was the diameter of the bearing retainer cap on the NP231. And the mistake I made was I did not pull this cap off. So I tried measuring it with it installed on my transfer case. That did not work. So what was happening was this was bigger than the opening that KubotaSwappers had milled into this side of the adapter. So what I did was I took it to a local machinist here where I live, and 2 days later they were able to mill it out, and this has a 10,000th clearance to the adapter, so it centers the adapter to the transfer case. So this is now good. Alright everyone, we're going to be using this angle die grinder to remove some of the material so we can clearance the casting of the output shaft housing on the transmission. Now, to do that, and I'm doing this per KubotaSwapper's instructions, I'm first going to take a quarter like that, center it about halfway. I'm going to mark it there. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but I'm going to do the same thing down here. I hope you all can see that, but that's going to be the material I'm going to be removing. Now, I'm not going to remove it all at first. I'm going to try to do this little by little because I don't want to remove more material than I have to, but at the same time, this adapter is overkill for what it's for. So I can actually remove quite a bit of metal from this and not worry about damaging the structural integrity of this piece. All right, while my air tank recharges, I'm gonna go test it, see how it does. That is so much more of a success than we had the other night. Now, that looks pretty centered to me. I don't know why the bolts don't want to go in those two. Because everything it looks like by the naked eye, it's a straight shot in. So let me get the other piece of the adapter and we'll see if it fits. All right, one of the other things I didn't show, I marked this with an N with a punch. Eventually I'll put NP231 on it, but that mark is to tell me where the bottom of the transfer case is, so I always know the way the clocking works. At least to the transfer case, I should say. I'm only going to install 4 of the fasteners for now because I'm not sure the orientation that I'm going to run quite yet. And for test fitting purposes, 4 will be more than strong enough. 2 nuts started just so I don't have to worry about this falling. Now, to figure out if it will spin, now unfortunately, I just need it in neutral. It doesn't want to turn that way, but it will turn that way. You know what, people? This is gonna work. Now that I know everything fits and I'm gonna be able to modify my original cross member to support everything, I'm now gonna remove the transfer case. We're gonna remove the 2 halves of the adapter because after talking to KubotaSwappers, we're so close on these last 2 mounting holes for the transmission side of the adapter that I should be able to just get a drill bit that is a hair larger and drill out those holes ever so slightly so I can install all the hardware. So that's what we're now going to do. I didn't bring the cameras with me, but I went next door to my father-in-law who has a drill press to drill out those 2 holes per KubotaSwappers' suggestion to see if we can't get all of this to line up correctly. So we are going to now see if we can get all 7 bolts in this adapter. Well, everyone, I drilled out these 2 holes just ever so slightly to enlarge them because even looking at them with my naked eye, it looked like they should have gone in, but now we have all 7 bolts in and we're good to go. All right, everyone, that's all I have for this video. The adapter fits both the transmission and the transfer case now. That is a huge win. And also discovering I can reuse this mounting bracket that I originally used in between my doubler and transfer case is going to save me a ton of time as well. And I will be doing that in the next video. All of this took a lot of time and I am just wiped out. But hey, it's YouTube. You know what to do. Take out more than you bring. Tread lightly. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye.